this is Washington in the purple. The first thing you need to see already, and I thought this was interesting, is because they're already showing a quad unbalanced set. You know, I don't think it ends up there. I can't remember. But you see the stressors that you're already putting on.
Is it fair to call this quads? Because the running back is still strong. Like there are five.
What would be five? What would you call that? We only have.
You can't do that, right? That's not. This guy. Let me. That guy is not eligible. This guy is. So it is quads in the sense of that's one, this is two, that's three, there's four, and this is the fifth eligible receiver, backside. But, you know, you come out and you see this, that's, you better know how to align. I'll say that.
That's right, because you actually could snap it that way. Okay, so that's the first thing. I thought that hit me right up in the face really fast, just seeing this. And the amount of times I saw stuff like this was kind of interesting. All right, so let it run. I believe this is an RPO. Yes. So he'll have to run that back to you the best that he can. So you can see there was a puller that went to the top when we were talking about this.
Oh yeah, there was
two pullers.
GT.
Yeah, two pullers. So he could have actually handed this to the running back and let him go, which would have seemed like it would have been a good play. And then you see the second piece of where the other number, who would be the number 2 and number 3 position type people are going to block, and they got a bubble screen essentially by number 4 or an out. So you talking about stresses. You remember when we talked about them linebackers all the time, trying to figure out which way they're going to go?
Because again, you know, what are your keys, right? This guy, it's like you better be looking at your guards, and one of those guards is pulling, so you better follow him. Probably yelling at this dude that your guy's pulling, and then you got these 4, you know, to handle
5 because they're the other. Well,
so I mean, I don't know who they're playing here. Whoever it is, they got to tackle better. But as far as just like misdirection and eyes getting in the right place, you're putting those linebackers in a bind.
Yes, and you see him looking around, go back. You say he ain't even move.
He's not even ready because he's trying to. He's like, there's 5 dudes over here.
Circle the guy so everybody can see it. It's kind of funny because the play is snapped and he's just standing there looking at the safety. The safety's screaming at him. It's the guy on the 5-yard line right in the middle of the field. Check him out when the play starts. It's kind of funny to me. You can see him looking around. His hands are up. And he's just standing there looking backwards.
Now So I'm talking about him like, hey, you supposed to be following his guard, and he's not doing that because he's talking to the safety.
Yeah, he fell off.
Really?
He probably would have went the other way anyway.
Yeah, I'm saying really, he's only in the play because he had his head turned. Because he had his head turned. And he missed the tackle anyway. That's crazy.
So that's fun, but that's another one where the quarterback has to make a decision here, right? All right, I put this in here because I got a couple of these in here. This one is, well, first of all, they end up in what they would call quads, even though he's in motion over there. So there's 4 over there. The part that I want you to see is number 5 at the bottom. Is going to do.
Far back. That's on me.
No, it's okay. He's going to. This is what you would call a mesh route. So I want to show you this here, what they did at Fresno, and then how they did it at Washington. So they're crossing. They're trying to rub, and it is the quarterback's job to read the linebacker or the safety. In this case, you can see one of them chasing those guys. So he should know right now he's going to be looking to the left to throw the ball. Number 5. Probably is most likely going to be open, which he is, but he threw the ball to the other guy, right? Should have threw the ball to 5, like right now. This is something we used to run at Shelton all the time. Coach Mark Malcolm was very good at this. We ran this 100 different ways. with who crossed and who meshed and where the dig came from and all that kind of stuff, because it's very hard to do. Because you either got to take the crosser or you got to worry about the dig behind, or you got someone going deep. It's the same thing here. So the reason why I put it in there. So JT, I just wanted to throw that in just because it was quads again, but they add the same type of concept in there. All right. This one, well, this is one you can explain your set here when you were talking about what difference between tray and trips. And
yeah. So trips, at least in my vernacular, trips means 3 wide receivers, like 3 wide receiver bodies. Tray means one of those guys on the trip side is a tight end. So this guy being a tight end, just semantics on tray versus trips, so you know whether there's a tight end in the game or not. They've also got what looks like a tight end on the backside, but one of the things that we have to think about as a defense is, even though this is trips, we keep talking about quads, like the back is still over here. There's still 4 people that you have to cover on one side of the field. So for anybody who is just kind of like watching the game, trying to figure out how offenses or how defenses work, it's pretty simple. Like the game.
That's because you're good at math. I don't know. You can say it's pretty simple.
No. I'm not even going.
You
with
got
the
a
math.
double major in math.
I'm not even going with the math part. The thing is, the offense's job is to exploit space. They want to create space, and it's the defense's job to restrict space. That is really the name of the game of football. How can the offense make space, create space, and how can the defense restrict it? So what you kind of want to look for is, yes, how many people are on one side of the field versus the other side of the field? Where are the stacks and bunches? So I would call this a stack. This is kind of a stack if you want to. You can call it a bunch, whatever. Point is, though, look where this dude is standing. And the space out here, this is on this shaded area out here. That's the space that we think that, at least pre-snap, without any kind of post-game or game plan stuff. If you're a corner or a safety, you're kind of thinking, hey man, either this dude's probably trying to come over here, or we're trying to do something like this. We're trying to exploit the space. We want to draw everybody in so that we can pull somebody back out.
You sure you didn't watch the plays before?
I have not seen this play yet.
Okay. All right. Because I know he used to cheat in class too.
No, come on
bit.
now.
But anyway, look at that deep over. I could have sworn you just said something about that. That's the only reason I said it. I didn't know that. But now you got to look, because go back to the beginning, because I need you to see who's out there on the 20-yard line at the top.
Did the back go the other direction?
Yes.
That's crazy. Now, look, I know that's not like shocking to most people, but like that doesn't happen very often. That's not a.
No, you're talking about conflict. So if you look at that corner up there, he has another guy coming to the tight end at the top. The nub guy actually comes up and goes out. So, right, he kind of stems in, but I think he goes back out. Right, so that corner would have been in problems over there between those two, but they had another guy. So, for me, JT, when I look at this type of play, it's like a weak flood, right? So you had the short guy, the middle guy, and then you had the deep guy that just got to it in a very unique.
Yeah. Another thing I kind of forgot, again, talking about space, let's get to the pre-snap alignment, right? I was talking about the space down here, but again, there's more green grass right there.
Yep. And that's what they got to. And so, these are beaters, but you got all kind of ways to be able to throw the ball, as you can see. That he had options, a release, a check down to get it to the back if he wanted to. He could take the deep shot. But they kind of covered the middle up. So he had both, like you said, which one do you
Yeah, I mean, this looks like 3, right? Except what we were talking, this kind of looks like country cover 3 to me. Just drop back in the zone, and unfortunately, that corner is late getting out.
So this is what we were calling the dagger or the 4-beater. So the last little piece about this one you got to see and why it's so hard is if you actually, right here, JT, if you look at the guy on the 39-yard line at the bottom part of the deal, he's actually running an in route now. He actually probably could have took this guy because there's nobody in the middle of the field either. So he had a lot of options, to hit, and particularly if he throws it on time, because that guy's standing there. He's freaking.
Yep, there's space all over the place. You got, he's here, right? Oh, that was a pretty terrible circle there.
Yeah, I don't know what is that pothole you're drawing up on the field.
I'm drawing with the mouse, and I don't get to stand up here like the telestrators on when on ESPN or NFL Network where they just get to run back to the TV and use their finger to draw stuff.
Hey, by the way, what's the Apple Cup? I just happened to see that in the middle.
That is Washington State's rivalry. They play for the Apple Cup.
Okay, so is that really there, or is that one of those laid over TV things that we?
No, that's actually there.
Okay. All right. What's up, Mr. Whitman? Appreciate you. Okay, so that was the dagger. You can go ahead and go to the next one unless you got something on there. Next we need to cover. It's an aggressive throw, which we like to see as well. When you got some dudes, they got some speed. They can get all the way across the field, even though they cut it down. I don't know if there's a pause on this one or not. I really had to,
I'm just letting it roll right now.
Okay, so this is actually a Fresno.
Yeah, back to Fresno film.
Take lots of bodies in here, tighten it up. I think this is a pass route, similar kind of concept. You got the guy, what JT was just talking about, exploiting the other side of the field, the areas. But if you look at it, the concepts are kind of the same.
They're
right?
the same. They're the same. It's a you can call it a levels concept if you want to. You're just trying to put somebody in a bind, and if you kind of got a beat on your game plan and you're looking at this pre-snap and you're thinking, okay, it might be 1 or 3, whatever, and this guy's taking off, and you got a 1 high look, that guy probably better run with him, and that this backer, well, maybe this backer could be this one, but one of these 2 guys is going to be responsible for getting underneath here. So
you still got those 4 guys at the top.
Right.
I mean, it's the same thing with all kind of hidden.
As the OC, you're like, all right, so let's assume that this guy's going to the flat. How do we put him in conflict? Well, if you show him play action, right, and you give him some kind of flow, he's got to step up and respect it, and then you got enough room behind him if you can make a good throw.
That's right. So great design. Gotta love it, right? I mean, it's exciting to see, but you still gotta have the guy that can throw the ball and put it right where you need it. Okay.
I want to go back to this one. I think somebody was asking if this was 41.
Personnel?
Yeah. And
I hate this. This is a pet peeve of mine just because the lineman is wide receiver. You can't tell me he's not covering up that other guy.
He totally is. He is
totally covering up this dude. I'm like, come on, man. I know they let him get away with it and all that, but that's a tackle. Didn't go out, though. That's a tackle.
Yeah.
No, that was really a tackle. So that means the other guy's up top. There's 2.
Is off?
So you got the center at the wrong spot. The center is on the hash mark.
The center is on the hash. Yep. There we go. Okay. Guard, tackle, tight end, tight end.
Yeah, there you go.
1, 2. My bad.
All right. Good deal. Okay, but anyway, there's the concept there. Did you make your point? Yeah, you made your point. That was good. Great question, too, by someone. All right, so the next clip. All right, so I added this one in here because sometimes you want to, as JT started talking about how you put people in conflict, and sometimes things are kind of mirrored on both sides. The coaches will say, I don't know, give the quarterback the option to pick which side he wants to throw to. Would that be fair, right, JT? So sometimes.
Oh, hold on, I was reading chat. Got to give Bama Jeff 79 his props. He's already locked in. 21 personnel.
That's what I'm talking about.
Although
that could be a running back.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Although I think you're wrong here.
That could be a running back.
I think this is 12 personnel.
Now that's a problem too. So let me say this as a coach. So thank you, Bama Jeff. As a coach, I would always draw on the board with circles. Right, so forget numbers.
Mm-hmm.
I could draw this formation up and say, what personnel is this? And the answer on when you're looking at a whiteboard, they should be, well, I don't know.
Because that's where you gotta have rules, though. You gotta have rules.
Because you could draw this formation up with 2 wide receivers up here and 2 tight ends at the top, or that other guy could actually be a wide receiver, so it could be 11 personnel and it look exactly the same on the board. But anyway, I'll get back to my point here is when you're saying, so we used to do that too. If we had someone that you wanted to make sure the quarterback can kind of look and kind of count and say, okay, I'm going to run a bubble on each side, or I'm going to run that. What'd you call that one route? The little C route.
The Carolina route,
the Carolina routes to both sides, and you're really just trying to look to see how they line up and try to figure out what it's going to be. That's not necessarily what they run here, but when you look at it, I thought it was interesting again because essentially they're giving the quarterback 2 ways to pick a side. So he's looking right now and saying, "Where are my best options?" So when JT his play for you, if you look at the bottom, you get a bubble. Right now, just run it back. If you look at the top, those 2 guys are essentially running the same play, the tight end and whatever that other guy is. He's backing up. He's looking kind of thick. He's probably tight end. I don't know. So it looked like it would have worked on both sides, right? Again,
yeah, I think they would have had a tougher time.
Short field always tougher.
Yeah, I think they would have had a tougher time up top because you still would have had to make a guy miss. Whereas down here at the bottom, just because of the cushion, you don't have to make a guy miss. You just need to run forward and fall.
Well, see, and I think that's where I was trying to make the point too. Thank you for helping me make that point. That quarterback got to see that on alignment at the beginning too. Because they only had 2 choices. Is a bubble to the bottom or a bubble to the top. There's nobody else going out for a route. I guess he could have handed it off, but he didn't even decide to do that. So it's trying to put people in conflict and try to find the space. And when you have athletes, which Alabama will, the key is to try to get them the ball in their hand as fast as possible and let them do their things and make people miss. Like this sometime, not all the time, but it's an easy way to get people on the stat sheet, get them involved. Just know you can get it out there to them fairly quick because this is an RPO, right? There's no pullers. They're running inside zone, I think. With just a tag or they're just saying, hey, every time we run inside zone, you're running bubbles, and then the quarterback has the right to throw it. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that first round of
Yeah, I think
plays. That
that's it
should
here.
be
Oh,
all.
there's one more. Looks like there's one more. True
All right.
trips. Back a set week this time.
So when we ask somebody, if you were just looking at it, now we're in the chat. What kind of personnel are we looking at? This would be different for them. What would they think it is? You know, I know we don't know everybody on there, but I know what I would say it is. Anyway, so let's see what they say. Okay, so this is probably my other mesh route that I was getting ready to tell you. So sometimes there's indicators like this. Like JT was talking about, hey, when you condense formations, he already drew up those boxes, those rectangles towards the outside of the field.
Hey, hold on. Wait a minute. I think we need to correct ourselves. Because I think that we told everybody that first number was tight ends.
21 is the first one is backs first. 21.
Yes, I think that, at least I said it. I think I said that the tight end number was first, which is not right.
Yeah, 21 personnel is 2 backs, 1 tight end.
Yes.
10 is
1 back, no tight end.
10
back, is what no this is. There's no tight ends.
You're giving away the answer.
I know, but we just confused, like, I don't know, 560 people.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, our bad on that. We're not paying attention. Okay. So it's back to the mesh route concept, because what he said here, you start to think, what are you going to do with the areas to the outside of the field or to the middle? So on this play right here, if you start to see you can call them crossers or meshers, or basically, if you're a man-to-man, you're going to crash to each other because those 2 wide receivers are getting run right next to each other. So it's almost a man beater, right? But again, quarterback, if you look at this, JT, we ran this so much at Shelton. I absolutely loved it, because that crosser from the top, or the mesh guy, or whatever you want, the under route, he's going to be wide open.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even sure. I mean, you already know right now, if you're the quarterback, he's supposed to look at the guy that was down and see at the snap, where does he go? He chases that guy across the field, it's an automatic throw it to the guy from the top, opposite of his back, and there he is. I mean, it's easy, as JT was saying. It's pretty doggone easy to see. Okay, so we're going to the run game. This is the run game now. The next one. Yep. So
you started off not with inside zone.
you know.
First one is what's this, double G counter? Is that what it is?
Well, it's probably just the way that I had to put it in there to cut it up. I just put numbers in. Something you taught me, not necessarily.
Wait.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so
just, the center pulled. That's you got to be one athletic son of a gun to snap the ball and then pull.
Kelsey 2.0. That'll help you get drafted when you can do that.
Yeah.
So they had some pretty athletic linemen. I need to say that they had good size and they're big and all that. But what I did notice is that they were very athletic. How many times do you see a whole lot of? Look at this tackle just coming around, just doing the wrap.
That just basically just kind of jump cut himself.
Yeah, that dude's a freaking athlete. I mean, you don't even hardly see tackles with towels hanging off their ass. Like
the swag on this dude.
Look at it, that 55. I mean, that dude. If he's looking for guys like that,
man, he played fullback in high school. That's what that was.
You know what I'm saying? So that's a different piece. Do those type of guys fit in the SEC? Things of that kind of nature? I don't know. You got to be a pretty physical kind of specimen. Now, they did end up in the national championship, but didn't fare so well when it came to, other pieces. All right, so this is the, what we can talk about. You got a puller and a lead. You still got 4 people up at the top again. It's just a, so just a run game.
That's definitely just a sweep.
It's the sweep. But, the linemen are all doing the same thing. Again, you're not seeing a whole lot of extra stuff. This is pretty big dudes for Fresno, big fella. Well, I don't say they did some pretty good. Dudes looking large. That's how we need to look at. Maybe we can get JP2 some white helmets.
Hold on, I gotta put this comment on screen. I gotta find. Brian Green says we got to do 100 push-ups for the confusion.
Oh well, I give you 10. JT can do the 90.
Hey, well, you know what really is I've just created extra work because now I'm gonna have to go back and edit this video and like correct it. Because you know,
put some words up there because everybody be talking about.
I have to because you know that
you're giving bad info.
Well, yeah, I'm giving bad info, but like there have been plenty of people that will. I don't understand it. So if the shoe fits, I'm sorry, but there are people who will go back and they will watch this and they will make comments under the video as if it's live and they will like ask questions. And it's recorded and we did it a week ago, and then they'll have like a string of like 5 or 6 comments. So, you know, just to go ahead and alleviate that, I might just have to cut it out or whatever.
All right, that sounds good. Okay, more motion. Again, this is that's the play that you wanted first. This is the play that JT wanted first. It's basically a split zone. Inside zone. So again, it's a very common play. It's not new. He just was very deliberate about running it. You're trying to get a double team, which is probably the center and the guard. In this case, you're trying to get some movement, blocking down. There's a pretty big hole. The jump cut that we talked about with Blake Corum and all that kind of stuff, you know, there it is. It's pretty good. It's a nice, easy play. So I'm gonna ask you this, just because what do you think? Do you like the inside as a running back? You like the inside zone better or the outside zone?
Inside zone. The inside zone's easier.
Okay, so can you explain the difference in aiming points when you're trying to run an inside zone versus the outside zone for running back?
Let me go back to.
Yeah, you can draw it up.
Yeah, so, and this might not hold true for every offense, but at least when I was playing, this is my aiming point for inside zone was inside foot of the guard. If we're going backside, well, we're always going. You can't run inside zone this way, like this. So, inside foot of the guard, and then you're looking for cutback usually in the A gap. Sometimes it's all the way back, but you know that's why good running backs make the big money, because they'll find a cutback all the way back. Outside zone, your aiming point goes from here to here, where now your cutback is going to be in B gap or front side A gap. I always found it easier to take a shorter step and then maybe even just more fun to come backside, because you know you've got, sometimes you get fast flow. Everybody's running this way, and then you can get that cutback. Outside zone, for me, you're still kind of cutting back into you're not cutting back against the flow. You're trying to knife it. Mm-hmm. More like what was that game? Frogger, right? Traffic's all going this way. You can't like cut back and just avoid the backside of traffic. You still gotta like read through some of that stuff. So I've always liked inside zone better than outside zone, but I got really good at trying to find the cutback and knifing it up. So both of those I think are easier and take less trust in your lineman than counter trap. Well, my least favorite is trap. As a running back, I hate it.
You're afraid they're gonna miss the
absolutely, especially the short trap. It's like, wait, we're just gonna leave the 3-tech right here, and like I'm just expecting, like, no, man, like some of the 3-techs that I played against were animals.
Wow. Okay. Well, I hope you've gotten over it by now. So anyway, I just asked that just for a good measure, to see what you actually like, because I know there's still the front side piece, and you'll see it kind of happen. Sometimes the front side opens up and it just kind of runs straight, and it looks like a dive or something the other way. But this is, a good looking play. And then when you add the piece of the quarterback pull, so I don't necessarily like. I mean, he pulled it some, Penix. I guess if you went and looked at the RPOs, or actually how many times he actually pulled it, is very minimal. Most of the times he was throwing the bubble off of it, or some type of play action. But you always got that piece, what you see right here, where the quarterback could keep the ball and run it. And that's where we're saying how does Milroe actually fit into these type of things, because there would be a ton of hand it to the running back, quarterback keep it, or throw it to one of those wide receivers out there, right? Same thing. It's RPO, right? Hand it to the running back, quarterback keep it, or if you want to see if you run it back, they got the bubble built in.
Oh yeah, you're gonna need the wide for that.
Yeah, where he could actually throw it to. I don't know if you can circle that dude up there, the number 3 wide receiver, or he could actually throw it. So, I don't know, man. It's just it's a lot. You just gotta, it's counting. It's what you said. Who's in the worst position, and how do we make it? Then you have fun off of that, right? Then you got fake RPOs, or what do you call it? Fake bubbles, and then the wide receiver runs up the field if you're jumping too hard. So it's shoot. This quarterback here, he could have kept the doggone ball.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But I don't know. I don't know what the rules are, because
we could have said lock it.
Yeah, I was talking to our offensive coordinator. Back when we had a quarterback that was way more like he had never played quarterback, right? He was just an athlete that we stuck back there, and we would run that kind of read option stuff, and he would hand it off all the time. And I was telling him that one way that we should start thinking about it would be, you as offensive coordinator, you need to tell you should give your quarterback rules basically on who should get the ball. And I don't mean that like read this guy, hand it or give it. More like you can set up the structure to where the quarterback is going to keep the ball more times than the running back. So what I said was, if you want the running back to keep the ball, you should have your quarterback's mindset is hand the ball off unless you think he's going to get tackled. If you think he's going to get tackled, pull it. Take your chances. But if you want the quarterback to keep the ball, you tell him to read the end, or whoever their read key is, and you say, hey, quarterback, if you think that guy can tackle you, give it away.
Give it.
Mm-hmm. And, so now if you have the athletic quarterback and you want him to pull it more often, you just tell him your read is not can the running back get some yardage, it's can that guy tackle you? And if you don't think he can tackle you, then keep it yourself.
Yeah, man, I absolutely love that, because when we first got here, we had a quarterback who, you have your read. If the guy goes down, pull it. But we really didn't want him to pull it because our quarterback couldn't run. So, by the time the linebacker, as you can see, this linebacker could be looking for the quarterback, or he could be looking for the running back. If he can get to your quarterback, that's not quite as athletic, it's not a good deal. You want to have the running back make that 1 yard. I'm thinking of short yardage in particularly. So we had to start adding lock, regardless of what the read was. They're saying, no, you're handing it to the running back. You don't even have an option. Okay. Here we go. I want to guess this is some kind of counter or pin and pull. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. You can call this counter, or you can call it power.
Shoot.
Or does it even
matter?
I guess we'll look at the running back. The running back is
his steps.
I don't know. I mean, he's going straight downhill, right? I call it power, but who cares? Who
It
cares?
doesn't matter. It's a physical run. Is the base thing they want you to be able to see. They didn't have a whole lot of guys to block down here because they're all slanted to the.
Yeah, they're slanting the wrong side.
Yeah, they're slanting the wrong way, so it kind of made for it. But what I did like, and it's the discipline that you got to have for your running backs to be able to stay inside them pullers and go, which we wanted our quarterback to do a little bit more instead of trying to bounce it. There's probably one more clip. Yep. And so I did this one just for you. Look at that formation again, first of all.
Yeah, this man, like game planning against this sucks.
Yeah,
because now
and it's a normal personnel group, and this is 12 personnel. Didn't you say that before? I think you drew it up right. We just said it wrong.
Yeah, we said it wrong.
Right.
So this is 12 personnel, except again, the thing that we have to, as a defense, that we're going to have to look at it is that guy's not eligible. He's on the line. This guy's eligible.
Correct. Yes. And you don't have to declare in high school. Think about
or college.
Or college, yeah, I'm sorry. The NCAA rules, you don't have to declare. In the pros, you would have to say whatever number he is. 72 is eligible. I don't even think you can't even make him eligible in high school because of the number. Because of the number. Yeah. You'd have to throw it backwards to him.
But you got that going on. It's like that guy can't even go out for a pass anymore. But then you got the extra gap, right? So you have A, B, C, D, and E gap. So now, at least what I've done in the past was say that guy is not the center. This guy's the center. So your 3 technique actually needs to be way out here, which it looks like that's kind of what they do. I don't know.
Yeah, they went shade 5,
but
9.
You gotta shift this way with the line. You probably gotta walk somebody up. I don't know where their corner went. I guess maybe they went like a Connie and moved the corner over here and just kept the linebacker over here on this dude. Gotta have faith in your linebacker to do that. But hey,
and then this is what happens when you hit play. As you said, and you slide everybody right, and then all of a sudden these pullers start coming to the to the short side with a lead running back, and if you got a quarterback who can run. So go ahead and hit play. And you see you got pullers, you got leaders, and then you got a quarterback that's keeping the ball and getting it up in there. So it's just a lot to think about. So what am I saying about all of this and with the plays? You better be ready to line up and see a whole lot of crap from this offensive staff. You got to you're back to the top.
Yeah.
So you're going to be very disciplined about lining up, or you're can be exposed in a lot of ways, run or pass. Right. So I'm excited about that piece. If you're asking me about it, I have no issues with any of this. I think it's good. I think it's going to be a little bit different in the type of runs, like we said, and unless he adapts a little bit just to the people that we have, and how much different is the SEC running game versus the Pac-12.